in their in their filings. Well, the SEC doesn't have that authority to do that. It's never been given that by Congress. The SEC really has very specific orders by Congress, and it doesn't include climate. Same
Senator,
with the Federal Reserve.
can we pause there for? I want to get to the Federal Reserve too, but that is huge news. What you just said. Many people aren't privy to what the SEC recently put out this document saying, "Hey, we're going to audit you for your carbon footprint." So, can you just again explain the impact of what you just said about this decision and how it's going to rein in the SEC, especially for corporations?
Right. So the SEC puts out a rule that says you have to provide a climate score or a climate footprint as part of your SEC filings. And by the way, there's nobody that's ever drawn up a scorecard on this. There's nobody that has a benchmark. There's, in fact, when you see ESG, which we hear a lot about, right, with corporations and banks and whatnot, and you even if you watch your favorite your favorite business show, and you'll see ESG being promoted as a strategy for investment. Well, then you get right down to it, and you start finding out, well, some of this stuff is completely contrived. It's completely made up. And none of it adds to the economy, by the way. In fact, it's just the contrary. And so you've seen some pushback on that. So the SEC comes out with this rulemaking, and I've had the opportunity, as you know, I sit on the banking committee. I've had the opportunity to have these people in front of me, and I've questioned Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, a number of times on this point. And when I ask her about what's climate got to do with the SEC, or what's the SEC got to do with climate, or the Federal Reserve, or any number of regulatory bodies that regulate the banking industry and financial services industry, and she'll say, "Well, I believe that we are committed to solving climate change. It's an existential threat." Blah 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 blah, and all of which, first of all, most of which I don't believe to begin with, but second of all, it's irrelevant. The point is, Congress has not given you the authority to do these things, and so you cannot do these things, and they just defy it, and they do it anyway. And that's why today's decision, for that and many other reasons, there's lots of ways. Immigration law, there are lots of things you're going to be able to, I think, apply to this standard. And by